Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and today is Saturday, June 6th. I'm going to be continuing to play the game Persona 3 Reload in the series I've called Persona a Day. As I like to do, I'm going to start off by talking about what we did yesterday, to make sure we're coming into today all with the same information. Then we'll get into today's gameplay and see where it takes us. After that, we'll come back here to the desk and talk a bit more about it and see what sort of deeper connections we can make. For any of you watching on YouTube, I will have timestamps in the description in case you want to jump to a specific section. And as this is a full playthrough of the game, please be aware that we will be encountering spoilers as we go forward. With that out of the way, let's start off by looking at what we did yesterday, Friday, June 5th. The day started out at school, and as the last few days had, we met Yukari at the front gate. She had reminded us that we were planning to discuss the results of our investigation that we've been doing this past week, after school today. We had been looking into rumors of ghost stories. There have been some interesting, odd events going on at school. A student was found unconscious in front of the school gates last Saturday, and so we were trying to figure out the cause of that. Our investigation led a variety of different results. We learned of other instances of other victims alongside the first, but nothing especially concrete. So it was going to be nice later to get to talk to Junpei and Yukari to see what they found, to see how our notes line up with each other. But that was going to be after school, so first we had our school day to get through, and it seemed like a pretty standard one. We had our classes during the day, lunch in the middle, and then our afternoon classes. Nothing stood out to us as especially important, so it felt like the day went by pretty quickly. And just like that, we were in the classroom after school. Yukari wanted to start talking right then and there about what we found. And Junpei was kind of joking around about that and was like, "That was today? I didn't think we were talking about that already." And she just kind of, in her usual Yukari way, rolled her eyes and said, "Oh, geez, come on, Junpei. You knew we were doing this today." But decided that we would have one more afternoon, and once we got back to the dorm in the evening, that's when we would compare our notes and see what we found out. I was kind of glad to have that one last day to really go through and make sure I hadn't missed anything. So that's what I did after school. I went through the entire building, top to bottom. I checked every classroom door, every clubroom door, just to really do my best to make sure I didn't miss anything. I found a few students just to get some last-minute information from. It still didn't feel like a whole lot at that point, but I did walk away feeling like I didn't miss anything. I talked to everybody at school, everybody around town. So as far as I could tell, I didn't miss anything. And I had a little bit of time after that, so I was able to also make it over to the track team practice. It'd been a little while since we'd been over there, and I wanted to just be a responsible member of the team. I also figured that since we were going to be discussing our findings in the evening, that might really preclude us being able to do anything overly physically active. So it was a good time to stretch our legs and get some exercise after school. So I went to track practice, and that seemed pretty standard as well. We did all the things one does in a track practice. Miyamoto was there, and he seemed to be doing well. He's still waiting on results from his time at the hospital when they were investigating what's going on with his leg. So it was good to see he was doing well. And while we had a good practice, it wasn't enough to increase our social link rank any, but we did make some progress. So I really just felt good about how we spent that afternoon time. We stayed active, and we stayed like a productive member of the team. And as practice wrapped up, then we did head back to the dorm. So once we were all settled in, Junpei, Yukari, and I met down in the lobby to really dig into what we found. And Yukari said that she was totally convinced that the real events weren't caused by anything supernatural like all the rumors had said. We'd kind of had that same thought as well, but especially Yukari, she seemed to want to definitely make it not about the supernatural. She doesn't like topics like that, it scares her. She talked about having nightmares all week because of all the research she'd been doing. But I think that really helped her dig past those rumors and see some threads that we kind of saw glimpses of as well. And it did really help to talk those out. She had questioned us and asked why we thought that the information spread so quickly, all these different rumors and things. And she was of the same mindset we were, that the fact that there were multiple victims is why it was so quickly spreading. Rumors spread fast anyway, but when there's multiple instances of the same problem, it just spreads that much faster. She also asked me what was a common point that all of the victims had. And that was something that had come up occasionally in some of our talk as well, in that a lot of them spent time out at night, specifically in places like Port Island Station, hanging out in the back alleys and outskirts type places. And she was happy that she had also heard the same things. And so she had decided the best course of action would be to go to the source. She wants to go to the outskirts of Port. Junpei heard this idea, and he was flat out against it. He's like, no, you know the kind of people that hang out back there. That is not a good place for us to go at that hour. But Yukari was undeterred. She's like, no, they put me in charge of the investigation, and I know this is where we need to go. I've been following directions and orders, we all have. So I want to take this step and really do what I can for things. Junpei was still unsure, and honestly, I have some misgivings as well, since I'm not sure what we're walking into. We spent that evening with Akihiko not that long ago, and we ran into some thugs, and it seemed like it was a bad situation. So I'm a little apprehensive on what we would encounter as we head to the back alleys there. But my investigation kind of pointed me there as well, and I want to be a good team player in that sense. Just like they trust me to lead the team during combat, this was Yukari's thing to lead, and I trust her to have good decisions made. And I'm going to be there to support her as well. We've been working on our courage this week, and we reached a new rank, so I just figured that'll help us stay calm and collected in whatever adversity we might encounter. So Yukari plans to head there Saturday night, that being tonight, to really investigate in person and see what new things we can learn. Junpei still wasn't overly excited about the prospect, but he promised to go along as well. So that's what we have looking forward to later in the evening today. Having come up with that plan last night, we had a little bit of time left in the evening to do our own separate things. And I figured that since our time tonight is spoken for, last night was going to be a good time to do something relaxing and fun. We'd already done enough investigating in Tartarus, so I didn't see us needing to go back there. So I ended up making my way over to Hagakure Ramen. I wanted to get a good meal and just do something calm and peaceful. There's a nice, easygoing atmosphere there, and we know our character likes the food. So I went over there and was able to order their special ramen. And that did a little bit more for our charm than the traditional bowl. And it was actually so good that the meal raised our charm all the way up to the 3rd rank already. So we've gone from unpolished up to confident. It was super rewarding to make that social skill progress, and to have 2 different skills rank up this past week. Both our courage and our charm. So now across the board we are rank 3 in all of our social skills. And it all just seemed like really good personal growth that was fitting for the steps we were taking to kind of take the lead on this investigation and prepare for things. So having a good meal got us back to the dorm at a reasonable hour to get a nice full night of sleep to rest up for what promises to potentially be a rather busy day today. So with that is how yesterday wrapped up. And that brings us into today then to see exactly how our investigation moves forward from here. Okay. So this is just after we had finished dinner last night. This is where we ranked up our charm to rank 3 of confident. So as you can see, we are now a confident, determined, above average person. Really nice progress in less than 2 months now. Actually, it was 2 months ago today. It was the 6th of April that we moved into the dorm. So today is actually 2 months since we got here. Very cool. But yeah, look at that progress in 2 months' time. Very, very, very encouraging. But that was how Friday ended up. So here we are Saturday the 6th, just like it is in real life. I have to remember that I have plans tonight. Class is ended for today. So, we didn't see it, but again, that was another busy day, or not busy day, but a quick day. Let's get the game saved before we talk a bit about that. Because once again, the day didn't show us anything during school, but you can tell outside. It is the evening. It's our afternoon at the very latest. So, we had a full day of classes and things. It's so easy to just fall into that trap of thinking we just, in the blink of an eye, the day passed by. But we did still spend a full day learning and interacting and socializing and everything that one does at school. So, we're not coming into today just in the blink of an eye. We actually did have a full day in school to lead us to this point. And we've got some messages like we do. A lot of messages today. Bunkichi. Dear Tom John, how have you been? Come swing by the shop to say hello, will you? Perhaps. It has been some time since we spent any time with the elderly couple. And Chihiro, good afternoon. I hope my messaging you on such short notice hasn't been an issue. I appreciate the time you've been able to spare. Would you be able to go somewhere with me after school? Anywhere's fine. I'll be waiting in the hall again. Yuko, hello. You done for today? Want to go home together? And the usual couple of ads as well. Wakatsu, healthy brain food. Are you eating well? Keeping a well-balanced diet nourishes your brain, which in turn can improve your studies. We prepare great food with all our hearts, just for you. Remember, a healthy brain stems from healthy food. Wakatsu's got your back. And this one, I never dislike the ads, but I especially like the ones that remind me of these sales, because it can be so easy to forget about those when you're busy with other things. But there is a sale at the pharmacy today. Sale today. Today is our weekly sale. Are you running low on medicine or other goods? Come visit us and stock up. And it can be so easy for me to see that one and disregard it because I don't really do a good job keeping tabs on our medicine, but you might also remember we have a full moon coming up. The mysterious boy showed up in our room last Monday and said that we have the full moon coming up. There it is on the 8th. So we need to just be as ready for that as we can. We don't know what sort of challenge we're going to face, but last month when the moon was full, we had that incident on the train, which was quite involved, so I can only assume that this next month will be similarly challenging. And if I can get some medicine to prepare for that, that will definitely be to our benefit. So I want to make my way over there and make sure we've got everything we can, within reason. I mean, I've got a lot more yen than I had last month, so I can afford to make sure we're sitting decently there. Equipment's already good, which is nice. And if we look at everybody's average progress here, you'll see the first thing I want to call out is the average level is 18, and Tartarus Floors Explored is 42, which is right where we are as well. So I don't feel like we've fallen behind the average pace of everybody else, which just means hopefully coming into Monday we will be as competent and capable as the average person is. This also gives us a chance to look at how everyone spent today while we're here. It was very decidedly all about social links for everybody. And looking at all those, it's like every name they call out there, Chihiro, Yuko, the old couple, and Maiko. I want to spend time with each of them. From a timing standpoint, the one I spent time with the least recently was probably the old couple. But Yuko's got to be pretty close as well. I don't know. Something is kind of drawing me towards Yuko. Do I have a strength persona with me? I do not. Well, let's also look at our current link levels. 3s and 4s for the most part. Yeah, so it would be Justice if we spent time with Chihiro. Strength for Yuko. Hanged Man for Maiko. And the Hierophant for the old couple. So we do have Chihiro there. We've got the Hanged Man. So we do have some options. We've also got some people to talk to along the way. So rather than standing here and going back and forth, let's talk to some people on the way and make our way over to Polonia Mall to take closer stock of the personas we have and what we think we need.
Seriously?
Dude, Yucatan is taking this way too seriously. Why did I open my big mouth? He mentions that because he had a ghost story. He was really having fun kind of picking at that fear that Yukari had. He went into full ghost story mode, the flashlight under his face, and Junpei's Believe It or Don't, as he was talking about the rumors at the school. And Yukari was trying to act brave and say that those weren't possible, and that wasn't the case. So she was put in charge of the investigation here, which kind of culminated to us planning to head to the outskirts of Port Island Station tonight. So that's kind of what he was referencing there. Yukari, are you ready for tonight?
Oh!
Hey, Shima-kun, don't forget about today, okay? It is definitely on our mind. Well, there's no reason to be investigating up on the roof anymore, but it's kind of become a nice, additional place to stop. I still don't see anybody else up here, but it's been a place I've been neglecting, and I tend to do that sometimes in some of these playthroughs, so let's make that part of more of a somewhat regular routine. There's Chihiro. We spent time with her in the library the other day. I wonder what sort of buzz of excitement there is in the school right now as everybody's finishing up their day. It's the end of the day Saturday, so everybody's got that day off tomorrow coming, so there's just got to be that excitement going on too, with everybody deciding how they want to spend this evening. At this point, it's the longest time before they have to be back at school on Monday, so there's that feeling that the world is yours probably, unless you've got some known obligation you have to do. It's like, okay, I can dig into whatever fun thing I want to do tonight or tomorrow. So hopefully everybody's got plans they can enjoy. I've got the very curious student here with something new to say. Hey, have you ever heard about that creepy place located outside of Port Island Station? I have, actually. Located on the outskirts of Port Island Station. Well, I accidentally ended up there once. Dude, I was so scared I almost pissed myself. It was full of these scary-looking guys. From what I heard, they meet there a few times every month, on Saturday nights. Be careful if you go there, dude. That place is dangerous. Real dangerous. Well, that's encouraging to hear since we're going there tonight, and tonight just happens to be Saturday. Junpei referenced as much yesterday, too. Let's stop down here first and get the lay of the land. It hasn't been a problem during the day when we've come here. I mean, there are a couple delinquents that look like they've got nothing new to say, and a couple cats. The brown cat over here, and our pal the weak cat, Mew. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad under the, the evening twilight sky, but as it gets darker, the whole tone of things back here might change. We'll see how it compares as we come back later this evening. But let's make the next stop the pharmacy. We want to check in on our medical supplies for the full moon on Monday. Probably not a lot of reason to check out Game Parade since I plan to do Social Link stuff today and our evening time seems to be spoken for, but let's take a look anyway. It's always kind of fun to just see the arcade, right? More fun to play it, but something about being around the games. So we have You're the Answer, an academic game, and Edgar's House of Fortunes for Persona's Magic. But before we head into the pharmacy, let's actually take a look at what we have and what we might need. We got a decent supply of life stones. I like that. 30% healing. One medicine for 50 HP healing. I mean, it'll give us our current numbers as well once we're in the pharmacy itself. But just from like a responsible shopper standpoint, it kind of feels like if I know what I need before I get in there, I'm less of that guy standing in front of a display talking to the different fixtures. It's like, do I want medicine or medical powder? Medicine or medical powder? I might still go back and forth when I get in there, but maybe I'll have some game plan. Yeah, this first aid kit M. That's nice, 100 HP for the entire party. That's more of an emergency thing at this point, but 100 HP is pretty close to half, a little under half of our total HP, so that's pretty good. And same with Umugi Water, which I do have 5 of. Got some decent SP recovery items. I mean, 10 SP is not huge, but in a pinch it can be. Yeah, we're not especially hurting for things, but if we could just top off while we're in there while it's on sale, it seems like the most responsible thing to do.
You got it.
That's another nice thing too. It's like these things won't go bad. It's not like this medicine only lasts this week. It's like it'll be there until I need it. So if I need it, I'll have it.
We're having one big sale today. You can't find prices lower than here.
I mean, yeah, 2,500 yen is still pretty expensive.
It's been real humid recently. Better check your food for mold, lad. Don't want to get sick now.
I love the little background things they have to say, and he just talked about that humidity, and I can totally relate. I mean, we're playing this in line with the in-game calendar, and I'm facing that own humidity in my... where I am as well, so if you are, I hope you're getting through it as well. Revival items. I do have a few of them. I've got one of these band aces. I think I've also got a skill now that I can use to revive a fallen ally. Maybe let's pick up one more of these.
You sure? Thanks for coming.
Again, it won't go bad, so it's not like I'm losing money on this. It's that fallback item for when and if I do need it. And it's not like I want to go through and definitely spend a bunch of money just for the sake of spending it. Statuses, those can be more of a challenge than one might give them credit for at times. Maybe a couple more of each of these.
Made up your mind? That's all you want? Thanks.
We'll just take them up to 5.
Which one? You made up your... Thanks.
Just so whatever charm, poison, or rage affects us, I've got a way to get out of that now. And then we've got some of the, this muscle drink here. It restores 150 HP to one ally, with a low chance of a side effect. So that's going to be some sort of status ailment, I believe. Maybe we'll take 2 of those just as like an emergency item. It's like, okay, we need a lot of HP, and it's worth rolling the dice on that status risk.
made up your
Yeah, I'm gonna take one of these.
You made up your mind? Thanks for coming.
All right. We spent a decent chunk of money here today, but it was all on sale, and I do feel a lot better now having these items on hand.
Done already?
Maybe in some instances I went a little overboard,
Come
but
again, yeah?
like I kept saying, it's like this stuff is going to keep all game, so at any point we need it, whether it's on Monday or sometime exploring Tartarus, it'll be there for us. I made all that shopping, so let's save the game and make it all especially official. So yeah, it was a chunk of money, but I do feel good about that. It feels like it was money spent, not money wasted. I'll be able to... all those things have utility going forward. I really do need to come up with a plan for the day, though. I like the balance of Persona that I do have on hand for whatever Monday brings towards us. We could spend time with Maiko. She's got a birthday coming up, and she was worried that her parents will forget about it. I kind of want to hold on to Naga, the hermit there, in case we have any time on Sunday to spend potentially in the online game. We don't know anything about any priestess social link yet, so if everything we have, I could get rid of the unicorn, but I'd really rather use it as a fusion ingredient if I were to get rid of it in some capacity that way. I guess I could take a look and see what the unicorn could fuse with. Maybe that makes sense, because then I could always summon something else to fill that void. If I can make this priestess fuse with something else into something that is more usable for our social links. So that's the word I was going for.
Marvelous.
Elizabeth, how you doing? It's as if a presence emanates. It's as if your presence emanates a far brighter radiance than before. Perhaps all your hard work is starting to show. Here, it may not be much, but this is my gift to you. Please accept it. Another Twilight fragment.
I'm looking forward to it.
I still cannot foresee the limits of your potential. I look forward to witnessing you grow even further. I can't think there's any new requests. There are not. Just wanted to make sure.
Very well, then.
But let's head inside and just see what I might be able to fuse. If nothing else, we can say hi to Igor while we're in here, as I like to do. But maybe we can do some actual business there and just see.
Welcome to the Velvet
Are you aware that the moon grows full?
I, too, have a purpose to...
Registering, I
Okay,
see.
good. I was pretty sure I'd registered everybody, but that was just in my head before I look at fusing. I wanted to make sure real fast.
Of new power.
And normally I do fusion search, but since we're looking to use a specific persona, I will look at the dyad fusion instead. Actually,
It is a special persona you desire, is it not?
yeah, there's a few special ones here. I hadn't talked about these before. We learned about them a month or two back when we first learned about fusions, but
All of this will...
there are
almost
personas
certainly
here
worth
that I
your
can fuse
time.
that are different from the normal fusible ones. They take a specific set of personas. It's like Fortuna here is going to take Angel, Silky, and Unicorn. I don't have a Fortune social link established yet, so I'm not really looking to do that, but that would have actually used the Unicorn up. So let's just, again, look at dyad fusion.
Will you choose?
Well, that's interesting. I could make a strength persona and then resummon Naga.
Take
That would allow me to spend time with Yuko, who I'd been considering spending some time with earlier. And Unicorn doesn't really have any any particular skills. It's got Koha and Dia, which are good skills, but that was a persona that we found while exploring Tartarus. It wasn't one we'd made. Naga's got some good balance to it.
This would be a wise choice.
Yeah, I think making a strength persona like this would be a good choice. It comes with dodge, slash, and regenerate 1, so every turn it's going to regenerate a little bit of HP, which is always nice. It's also resistant to both slashing and piercing damage, at the cost of being weak to wind and light. But it's fast, it's got good endurance, and a lot of strength, so that's a good breakdown for skills. It'll gain some bonus experience because of our link with Yuko. So depending on what we encounter, if something is more physically minded, we can switch over to this persona and take less damage as well. So I think I'm going to make that. Let's look at its background first. Demon of Hindu myth. He is an enemy of the gods and attacks humans to feed on them. His hideous appearance strikes fear into those who see him, can shift his shape to deceive his enemies. Yes, let's do that. I can always then resummon Naga, like I said.
Please choose what skills to inherit.
We can pick 2 skills. I think I like the idea of having single shot just because this is a physically focused persona, so it does additional... It's got a lot of strength to it, so it'll do more damage with single shot, and that gives me an option to use piercing skills. And for the other one... lowering foes' evasion isn't bad, but 24 SP to cast it, that's a huge chunk of our SP pool right now. Yeah, Dia is a nice fallback. It's a low-cost skill to use, and if I'm out there with a persona for defensive purposes, I can still heal an ally while having a physically resistant persona on the field. So I think that would be a good addition as well.
It appears it will receive a fair amount of extra power.
So we'll get a little bit of a bonus then because of our social link. So yes, let's summon Rakshasa.
Well, well, well.
I wouldn't need to resummon Naga here. I still think I might, because if I end up spending time with Maya tomorrow, it would be nice. On the other hand, I guess I could. Yeah, I always love that, birth of a new persona there. I am Rakshasa. Those who stand against you shall be struck with terror and despair. So I learned Fatal End, another good slashing skill, and gained a little bit more strength, agility, and endurance. Very nice.
This is your progress so far.
6,700. That's about a fifth of our money. So that's...
Please take a look.
But this one does give us coverage against dark and electricity as well. And the Maragi skill attacks an entire party with fire. And it fits the social links that we have with Maya in the online game. So I like that, and the look of the balanced stats there between it's strength and agility heavy, but it looks good across the board there.
So you'll be summoning this one?
I will.
Very well, it's yours.
And that can be used as ingredients for further summons going forward as well.
We look forward to your next
I technically could have gotten a cheaper version of a hermit persona, but we'll use it in some capacity, whether it's in battle or as a seed for another new persona. I feel good about that. I don't think I specifically said my usual greetings to Igor while I was there, but I'm sure we talked a bit while he was fusing for us, so I won't go back and bother him again. Officer Kurosawa, thank you for keeping things safe. Not here to buy anything, just hoping his day is going well. There's a part of me that wants to suggest that he keep an eye on Port Island Station tonight, but I'm sure he's aware of the goings-on there, if this is a regular occurrence for people meeting on Saturdays. Well, if anything, probably better not to worry him and draw additional attention to what we're doing. But just nice to see he's doing well.
You finished? Be seeing you.
We won't be shopping on Monday most likely because I assume we'll be too busy with the full moon. Hard to really know. There might be a chance after school before we head back to the dorm, but again, there's nothing new for us to buy. We're pretty geared up as it is. So before we head out, again, we'll save it because we accomplished some stuff. But let's again just take a look at those social links. I specifically made a strength persona, and a part of my thought was to spend time with Yuko as a result of having that. It's a good persona as well to have on hand, so it's got a lot of combat utility, it feels, but... Yeah, let's do it. I don't want to spend a bunch of time going back and forth on that, so let's spend that time with Yuko. The halls are still pretty busy, despite us having time to go into town and do some shopping. And before we spend the time today, I keep going back to this menu, but I'm trying to get better about actually going to refresh us all on what our last interaction was. So yeah, you'll probably remember that on our way home, Yuko was hassled by these two girls. She told me about her relationship with them, as well as why she worked so hard as a manager. So to talk a little bit deeper about that, we were leaving school together earlier in the week, might have been the latter part of last week, and we stopped down at her shoe locker to get her shoes, and somebody had stuck gum to her locker, which seemed to be a regular occurrence for her, unfortunately. But she said not to worry about it. She's dealing with it. It was as fine as it needed to be. So we made our way over to the Polonia Mall, and that's where we encountered those couple girls. And they wondered if I was her newest boyfriend. The whole reason she was part of the track team as the manager was just to get closer to the boys again. And she said no, she loves being a team manager. That's why she does it. She's not there to meet boys like they're implying, or not even implying, straight up saying. And she said it's a good use of her time. She likes what she does. And she also said maybe they should try to find something productive to do with their time rather than wasting it sticking gum on people's lockers. And they were kind of flustered at that, and, they grumbled as they left. But Yuko then took me aside afterwards and gave me her side of things. And she said that one of those girls went to the same middle school as she did. And Yuko was a team manager of a team back in middle school as well. And one of the boys on the team had asked Yuko out. Yuko was excited about that, only to find out later that that boy was already going out with one of the girls that we had encountered that day. And that girl had assumed that Yuko was on the team to steal her boyfriend away, and that she was doing the same thing now that they were in high school. None of it was true. Yuko said she actually genuinely does like being a team manager, and it was hard for her as well to be in that situation. So that was more of the detail of it. And she also apologized to me for me being misconstrued as her boyfriend. And I said at the time, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd be lucky to have someone like you. And she just kind of said, oh, you probably say that to all the girls, and kind of just dismissed it. But we got a little closer that way last time. So that's where we left off in the last episode of this progress. Well, let's spend time together and see if we can go any further forward there. Hey, Shima-kun, you heading home? We were interrupted last time, so if you're down, want to try hanging out again? We've got this new persona with us. So yeah, let's spend time with Yuko after school today. Great. Well, let's hit the town and have some fun this time. That would be kind of nice, too, if we actually can. Get out there, do something fun this afternoon to prepare for whatever happens tonight. Hopefully we have a day off tomorrow to, rest up for Monday, but we'll take the fun when we can have it, hopefully today. How about we head to Polonia Mall? Maybe we get some cake from Chagall, too. Sounds good. Haven't been to Chagall in a while, other than to work there.
Yeah. Have you been training to strengthen your core?
You could say that. I've attended a couple track practices, but I've been doing some extracurriculars at night as well.
It's a good idea if you want to shorten your run time. You're less likely to injure yourself, too.
And I like it that Yuko has actually done the research in this sort of thing. She's not just that basic team manager, not to dismiss anybody that takes those sorts of roles, but she seems to be taking it genuinely seriously and knowing about proper training. So she's not just there to babysit the guys on the team like she kind of said earlier. It's like dealing with a bunch of kids. She knows her stuff as well, so she can back up more than just getting people water and things and coordinating things. She's quite knowledgeable in this field, it seems.
I was talking with Kaz about putting it in the first year's practice routine, actually.
Nice.
Do you mind if we continue talking in the cafe? I'm a little hungry.
Sounds like fun.
Ow!
Wow, that looked intentional, didn't it? There was a lot of space around us.
You again.
Oh, man.
We ran into this boy a couple weeks ago. Or, just like today, he ran into us, but he's the one that called her Auntie Yuko. Apparently he lives near where she lives. You know, they know each other.
You know, it's dangerous to be running around a place like this.
And we told them as much last time, too. And they ignored it, as a kid would. Like, you're no fun. Come on, let's go play. It was that fun irony, actually, because that time Yuko had been talked to by one of the teachers about sleeping during class and not behaving like a proper student should and throwing away her future sort of thing. And so that was that fun back and forth as Yuko that same day was in that role of telling the next generation here, these kids, you know, don't you know not to play here? You know, there's a time and a place for that, and that's not at the mall here. You know, I mean, she didn't quite seem to see that parallel, but it was pretty obvious to us as we talked about it.
You're lucky it's just me. But what if you bumped into a scary man, huh? If you want to play, do it at your schoolyard.
That is good advice.
But we can't play there. The 6th graders are always hogging everything by playing soccer.
The challenge of being a kid. Because that is a genuine concern for
Said
him.
they'll move if we could beat them in a race, but
I like that kid logic, too, of, like, I'll challenge. If they could beat us in something that they can't actually beat us in, then we'll leave. So we'll make it fair, even though it's a one-sided challenge.
we're only 4th graders. There's no way we could win. That's why we had to play tag here instead, Auntie Yuko.
And just that flawless kid logic as well. The 6th graders are playing soccer at the school, so we can't play there, so what else were we supposed to do? The only other place was the mall. Come on, you've got to see the logic there. It's pretty cut and dry to me. Why can't you see it, Auntie Yuko? We have to play tag, and the only place to do it is the mall. What were we going to do, not play tag? Come on.
Let the auntie slide this time, but only because I feel sorry for you. All right, come with me.
Aha.
This field is so big. Wow, high school is amazing.
To see a nice modern new facility like that, too, that would be cool.
They said it's fine for us to use the schoolyard for a bit.
And leave it to Yuko. She's such a responsible one that she actually did go through the proper channels to get permission to actually come out here. It wasn't just one of those, hey, come on, kids, we'll go, show you the track that we use. It's like she went through all the proper channels to get real permission to be out here, and she did it right.
Normally, you wouldn't be allowed in here. Understand? So don't touch anything you're not supposed to, and if something happens, let us know immediately.
Nice. Ground rules established right up front. In a nice cut and dry, easy to understand way.
Can you promise that?
We promise.
Good. Then practice until the big hand on that clock reaches 12. And don't go inside the school building.
All right, let's do this.
And from a kid's perspective, they're challenging the 6th graders to an impossible-seeming race. So think of how cool it would be to train at a real track where the real high schoolers train, like a real track team trains there. How cool that would be as a kid. It's like, there's no way we can lose now. We've been on a real track. Have those 6th graders been on a real track? No. We can do this now. We've had the secret training.
Wait, come here for a second. You need to pump your arms more. And don't lift your legs so high, or you might pull a muscle. Come on, give it a try. You just gotta believe in yourself.
She seems really good with stuff like this. And like I was saying earlier, she really knows her stuff as well. She's able to see their form and to make constructive suggestions and changes to it for their own betterment and for their safety. And it's really cool to actually be standing next to her here and see things kind of from her perspective and how she sees being a manager. It's kind of like I'm getting a glimpse into her life there.
Woohoo! Check this out.
And that motivating factor, too, the same deal as training on a real track. He was trained by a real track coach, so he's got that new skill as well of, this is how I'm supposed to run. This is the right way to do it.
Wow! Henshin, you're so fast! Hey, big sis! You should be our coach!
And she called her big sis rather than Auntie Yuko.
Oh, I'm a real sucker when kids look at me that way. But I've never tried coaching before. What do you think I should do?
Definitely do it. Yeah, you know your stuff. You like the kids like you. I mean, yeah, technically it is for her to decide, but she's already asked me about it. If I were to throw it back at her and say, oh, I don't know, that's up to you. Like, yeah, I want to nudge her in that direction. I think she'd be good at it. Why not?
Really think I should?
I do.
Fine, please. Please.
The kid's secret weapon.
Well, it isn't a decision to make lightly.
True.
All right, I'll be your coach.
All right.
But I'm not gonna go easy on you guys, and no one's allowed to quit halfway either.
A fair compromise. If I'm going to coach you, we're going to do it right.
Got it?
Got it, Coach Yuko.
And just like that, in unison, they know her as Coach Yuko.
Hey, is he gonna teach us too? Is he your boyfriend, Coach?
Never you mind about that. Now everyone, line up. I said I wouldn't go easy on you, didn't I?
She did. Yuko began passionately instructing each child.
Think positive. If you think you're gonna lose, you will. Don't be afraid of them just because they're 6th graders.
I like it too. She's also taking the mental side of the motivation. It's so easy to get in your own head and decide that you can't do something and it's just impossible. And yeah, like she says, you lose before you even start at that point. So to get them thinking positively, it's going to go in tandem with their own physical training as well.
That sounds hard, but okay.
Wow, they are on the same wavelength. I watched Yuko as she coached the kids. Eventually, they all went home.
Once they started calling me coach, I couldn't resist.
She seemed like she was getting pretty into it.
Hey, I was wondering, would you maybe want to do this coaching thing together? I know I'm asking a lot, but
It could be a fun experience.
I don't know much about racing. And plus, you're really athletic too.
I was just going to say, I don't know a whole lot about the process either, and I'm sure she knows more about proper form and things than I do. And I also feel like she wouldn't be asking me if she didn't actually want my contributions to it. So if she thinks there's something I can do to benefit the training and the coaching, then sure. Sounds like a worthwhile use of my time.
So if you'd coach them with me, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll do my best.
I mean, why not, right? Please? Honestly, I don't think I can handle it on my own.
That please in there. That I know this could be overwhelming, so you please come on, you'll help me out, right? And it definitely would be easier with multiple people. No, it sounds like a lot of fun. It could be hard, and it surely would be at times, but it would also be that rewarding thing of being able to help these kids get better. And since my character does run in the track team himself, he would be able to give some good constructive advice to these kids. And I'm pretty sure in the process of coaching, you're able to glean some information that I could apply to your own situation as well. If Yuko's talking to the kids about proper form, maybe there are things I could learn and improve them for my own understanding of track. So this would be good for the kids, and I'm pretty sure it would be good for me as well. It's something Yuko wants to do and something she trusts me with, so I've got no reason not to say anything but sure thing. Let's do this.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm sure those kids will be happy too.
Thank goodness there. I like to think too that I was talking to you guys for 2 or 3 minutes about that. So I was just staring at her blankly for 3 minutes as she's like, "Will you help me out?" And I'm just stone-faced, like I'm thinking about it. Okay, yeah, sure. But yeah, we're gonna do it, and I'm glad she's excited. Seems like Yuko is counting on me. I feel like our relationship has grown. This was definitely not a direction I saw the day going, but that's one of the especially fun things about this game. Each of these social links goes in ways that it can be hard to see coming, but they are so rewarding. So that is rank 4 then, with the strength social link with the team manager, with Yuko here. And I'm getting to see a different side of her, and it seems like a lot of benefits and a lot of fun.
I know that I keep asking you for favors, but I'll make it up to you one day.
I never want to feel like I've said this before too. I don't want these interactions to feel transactional. I don't want her to think that, oh, you helped me out, so now I owe you. Like, no, I'm doing this for us, for our social link. I want to help you because I want to help you. I don't want you to have to owe me for anything. It's just a mutual bit of fun time together. And if you really want to think that you're, having to compensate me in some way, then like I say, I'm sure I'll learn things about how to coach kids, to lead a group, to be a better runner. So I'm still definitely gaining from this, so she doesn't need to owe me anything on top of all that. So yeah, with that, I left school with Yuko and returned to the dorm.
All right, it's time. Let's get going.
All right. Not wasting any time getting out to it tonight.
Shouldn't we talk about this some more? I still think this is a bad idea.
It did kind of feel to me, too, like maybe we do want to have a bit more of a game plan. I guess we don't know exactly what we're walking into, so there's only so much planning you could really do, but to just hit the ground running, that's never been my strong point, but there are definitely times where that is the right answer, so maybe it avoids that analysis paralysis idea.
How are you scared of ghosts, but totally fine with this?
That is a really good point, Junpei. I mean, when you're scared of something, and rational or not, that's how fear works, but it is kind of interesting to think that stories of the supernatural are more scary than going to a dark back alley when you know there's going to be a certain type of people there. I guess that's, the other side of fear is bravery. If something's irrationally, scary, then maybe sometimes you could be irrationally brave as well.
Because stuff you can't see is way creepier.
There you go. Just like that, she says, without even, like it should be obvious to everybody. And yeah, there is some truth to that. It's so easy to get in your own head about things and to make things that you can't see seem scarier than maybe they are. I can relate to that as well. So yeah, that actually makes sense.
Actually, I'm more worried about the things I can see, like bats and knives.
As far as counterpoints go, though, I have to agree with Junpei as well. I can wonder if a guy's got a knife, and that could be kind of scary, but I could actually see the knife, and I think that might actually be a little scarier.
Big deal, so it's a little dangerous.
I guess we venture into Tartarus, and we fight these different shadows, so that's not really a one-to-one thing. I mean, we're not walking in there with weapons either.
Come on, let's strike while the iron's hot.
And she's just trying to play that motivator instead. It's like, appeals to logic and reason won't work, so let's go with the emotional side and say, come on, let's just go. Let's do it. And no room for objection.
Strike?
I guess I gotta stay confident and say, yep, strike hard. I don't want to say this is a pain. And saying after you, I mean, that kind of puts me in the same boat as Junpei, but I don't want to lag back and think that, or make Yukari think that we're dragging our feet intentionally, so all we can do at this point is do it. So we'll take that deep breath and say, yep, let's strike hard. Yeah.
You're actually excited about this?
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe I'm psyching myself up to, I don't know, ignore a potential truth. Either way, if you can't change it, we should try gathering information about the outskirts of the station. Well, this is different. We haven't had a group like this outside of Tartarus. I'm actually kind of really glad I can save it here, too. Feels like it hasn't been that long ago, but it's been long enough. I wonder what Akihiko and Mitsuru are thinking. They're pretty good at keeping an ear to the ground on things, so I guess we'll see. Akihiko? You guys going out at this hour? I don't know what you're up to, but just avoid going anywhere dangerous. Good advice from someone older than us. Mitsuru? I can't think that she would approve at all of where we were planning to go by ourselves like this.
Precisely.
Are you three? Are all three of you heading out together? Take care not to get injured. We shall. All right, let's gather some information. An angry old man. The hell you kids doing out here this late? You delinquents keep loitering in the wrong places, getting up to all God knows what. Whichever one of your gang wears this heavy clothes to cover his tattoos, tell him I got my eye on him. Now scram, I'll call the cops. Another student out at this hour. Oh, it's the dream team. Sheesh, you guys are always together. What's up? Hold on, you're not really going to Port Island Station right now, are you? Haven't you heard the reports? It's super unsafe. Can I go back inside and watch the news? Nope. Well, we missed that. I guess we have more important things to do than go watch TV. And it looks like we're headed right to the station outskirts from here, so let's make sure we haven't missed anybody. Nope. And I know I could walk right from there, but like directionally, the outskirts are this way, so I kind of feel like I have to leave from this direction. Man, going to a place like that this late at night, it's not so easy for a stand-up guy like me.
Jeez.
Would you stop complaining already? It'll be nothing. All we have to do is take the monorail to the station. What's so hard about that?
No way.
That's not exactly what I meant by not easy. You know, Yucatan, you might actually be scarier than the punks we're bound to run into. Yeah, it's a different vibe this hour than it is in the afternoon.
The hell are these guys?
And it, just like it seems, we seem to stand out pretty much.
Check out those rags. They're from Gecko High.
Oh man, this is even worse than I thought.
You must have taken a wrong turn. 'Cause this place ain't for you, buddy.
Bye.
What I'm saying is, you being here is ruining our vibe. Beat it, goatee.
Goatee? Oh, you mean me.
We don't need your permission to be here.
She's not wrong, if a tad confrontational.
Hey, are you nuts? Read the room, won't you?
A lot to be said for that as well.
I can read just fine. Come on, don't be intimidated by these punks.
What'd you just say?
She just called us punks. Come on, let's post some pictures that'll make her daddy cry. Hope you've been practicing your sexy poses.
Oh boy, that's too good. These guys are scum.
Well, she is confident. In spite of all that, she holds firm to these guys are punks, these guys are scum. Might be escalating things a little bit more for us.
Oh, so now we're scum, huh?
And poor Junpei, the guy gets right in his face instead. He's the one of us that wants to be there the least.
Man, I feel sorry for you, goatee. This bitch is a real pain in the ass, isn't she?
Ah, Junpei. And it's like, here's where my character needs to step up. They can't talk about Yukari like that, and they can't treat Junpei like that.
Junpei!
That's enough.
A familiar voice.
They didn't know what they were getting into. I'll make sure they leave.
This is the guy we ran into at the hospital. He was visiting Akihiko about, I don't know, probably a month ago now, when we had to take that school roster over. Akihiko had Junpei bring over the school roster from a neighboring class for that persona user we were looking into. And this guy was here when we got there. He didn't say much. He kind of just eyed us, said, you know, you look familiar, and then he walked away. So here he is again. Guy from the other day, they call him now.
You good with that?
Who do you think you are, dumbass? They're not walking out of this. You want some too?
Nice.
Shit!
Doesn't even take his hands out of his pockets. Just that nice solid headbutt downs him right there.
Son of a bitch! You just crossed the line. You think you're going home alive now?
Should we find out?
That change in posture. Doesn't change his tone at all. He doesn't sound at all concerned. He just like, basically that bring it on stance. Like, is this really what you want?
No. Or maybe not.
Oh, man.
What a loser.
Bastard. Your name's Aragaki, right?
Okay, we've got a name for the face now. Aragaki.
Yeah. Now I remember. Shinjiro Aragaki. You're from Gecko High too, aren't you?
He seemed to know Akihiko in some capacity. They seemed to be friends, but Akihiko said, he was a friend, but it's complicated. So that's all we really knew about him. Apparently he goes to the same school we do.
Damn it, you're gonna regret this!
Oh man, Senpai! That was awesome!
And just like that, Junpei's back to his peppy self. It's like the threat is gone now, so man, that was so cool. You scared him away. I had no idea what to do, but you just stepped up and took care of it. You're the man, Senpai.
I remember you. You guys were in Aki's room at the hospital.
Yeah, we sure were. I remember the same about you.
You idiots. Go home. You don't belong here.
Wait! Sorry, but there's something we need to know before we leave.
As rough as it has been so far, I do have to hand it to Yukari for staying on track with the investigation here. She hasn't let that get to her and forget about what we're actually working on here. It'd be so easy at this point to just kind of like flee now that there's an opening to get out, but if we did that, we wouldn't have actually accomplished anything by being here.
Did Aki tell you to come here?
He would definitely tell us the exact opposite of that. I think he told us as much before we left and not to do anything dangerous. He definitely did not tell us to come here.
It'll be fine.
Well, what do you want to know? Is this about that ghost story?
Nice, he seems to be hearing the same rumors we've heard.
Yes, that's right! How'd you know?
The rumor's been going around.
I guess that is how rumors work. They don't really stop at certain borders.
Those girls who wound up in the hospital were here talking shit every night. They'd brag about all the stuff they did to some girl named Yamagishi.
Yamagishi? You mean Fuka Yamagishi from 2E? They were picking on her?
We had heard that. I believe Yukari had a scene with a couple girls that were talking about bullying Yamagishi as well.
That's why people are saying it's Yamagishi's ghost that did it.
Yamagishi-san's ghost? Wait, what do you mean by that?
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty ominous.
You guys don't know?
Obviously not.
This Yamagishi girl might be dead. I heard she hasn't been home in over a week.
How did that not come up during our investigation? I guess it wasn't specifically what we were looking into, but it seems like if there's a rumor at school, then a student being missing for the last week, I'd be surprised if that didn't come up.
Wait, what? I thought she was just out recovering.
Okay, that's fair. It was said that she spends a lot of time at the hospital, so maybe people just assumed that's where she was. Okay, that makes more sense.
So, you mean she's still missing?
So much for that ghost story. Mr. Akota is the homeroom teacher for 2E, right? Does he know about this?
I get it, Aki. Still trying to make up for the past.
Well, that's nice and cryptic.
It's you who can't let go.
That's about how I feel too, Yukari.
Nothing. Anyways, it's all I know. We done here?
That is some of the most concrete information we've had.
Thanks a lot.
Nice proper Junpei there. Take the hat off, proper bow. Very cool. I mean, he seems to genuinely respect him there. He saved him from what could have been a lot worse.
Come on, show some appreciation.
Thank you, Aragaki-senpai. I mean, thanks isn't bad. I think we definitely did need his help. Things were going down the wrong path quite quickly. Yeah, I think he really did save us. He de-escalated the situation. Might have turned some unwanted attention into himself, which I appreciate getting it off of us, but that was self-sacrifice on his part. So just saying a simple thanks kind of seems like we're brushing off what he did for us. So I want to be as sincere as I can here and say, yeah, he really saved us. I wasn't sure how things were going to go if he hadn't stepped in.
Just don't come around here again.
Thank you for helping us and for sharing what you know.
Yes,
That was really nice of you.
it was.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Just don't come here again.
He's just as mysterious as he was the first time we met him. Well, as bad as all that could have been, to make it back to the dorm, that's got to be a really good feeling. That deep breath from Junpei there. It's just that we made it. I didn't think we were going to make it, but somehow we did. But man, what Aragaki-san told us was shocking, huh?
Oh,
I'll let Kirijo-senpai know that we found out about Yamagishi-san. The fact that she's missing is no small matter. Very true. And the fact that we know that now gives us an actual direction to try to pursue. We're not looking for a ghost story anymore, we're looking for an actual missing person. So that'll totally change the scope of what we need to do going forward. Man, we're totally going to get yelled at for doing all that without permission. I can already see it happening. Yeah, once they do find out the methods we took, I'm sure they won't approve. Akihiko and Mitsuru, and potentially the chairman as well. But maybe, to some extent, they'll understand. Like Yukari said the other day, she was put in charge of this investigation, and she saw this as the best course of action to get the results that she needed to get. And I don't think we went in totally unprepared. Yeah, we didn't know a whole lot, and yeah, we put ourselves in danger. But I guess when it's a time-sensitive thing, too, about trying to figure out, this ghost story, we don't really have all the time in the world to spend waiting and wondering. It is something you need to sort out sooner than later, especially since we found out that Yamagishi is missing. That might be kind of unfair to say that the results we found justify the actions we took before we knew the results, but knowing what we know now, I guess, it frames it a little differently, and maybe we can use that to mitigate whatever reprisal we have coming. All right. I'm kind of surprised. I really thought that was going to take the whole evening. I'm excited to be able to save the game again since we got through a lot there. And is it wrong that my first thought is I want to go see what's on TV because we missed checking that earlier? It's definitely not the highest priority right now, but let's do it anyway. Let's see what's on TV. Today's exchange rate. The yen is now 115.12 to the dollar, down from last time by 0.11 yen. I do want to talk to everybody here. And no messages. Junpei, we made it. How you doing, by the way? You did take quite the blow back there. Nobody's really talking about that, are they? I told you it wasn't a good idea to go there, dude. If Aragaki-san hadn't helped us out, who knows what would have happened to us. I'm getting an ulcer just thinking about it. I said I was sorry. I didn't think it would be that bad. Well, now you know. Next time, have a little more faith in what I say. Anyways, there's no way in hell I'm ever setting foot in that place again. Yeah, that, I suppose, would be the tough challenge as a leader, of trying to take your team into a situation you think is the best potential option and having something like that happen. If I were the leader, I'd want it to happen to me and not somebody else in my team. Yukari, good job handling tonight. It was touch and go for a while, and like Junpei, I don't really want to put ourselves back in harm's way, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Hey!
That guy looked kind of scary, but he was actually really nice, don't you think? I do. I mean, yeah, he was very direct in telling us to get out of there, but at the same time, he did tell us what we wanted to know and what we were there to figure out. He didn't have to tell us that. He could have just said, get the hell out of here and stay out. But maybe he was able to see that we were dedicated to what we were looking into, and we weren't going to leave well enough alone, so he might as well just tell us now to give us a reason not to come back. So yeah, I do agree that was the nicer thing to do. And he has some sort of connection to Akihiko, and he knows Akihiko is connected to us, so maybe this is his way of watching out for the friends of a friend. But yeah, I agree, that was nice.
Yeah.
Well, you can't judge a book by its cover and all that. But what was he doing at that place? Fair point. We know next to nothing about him, so it's hard to really make assumptions. Akihiko, how you doing?
Give me a break.
Okay, so they do already know. I kind of figured probably they did, but we gotta talk to them and take whatever they have coming for it. Seriously? Going to a place like that? There are limits to how reckless you can be. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I mean, I'm proud of you guys for trying to gather information, but be a little more careful next time. That's fair. Yeah, he didn't really lay into us on anything like that. He didn't belittle us for our choices or talk about how dangerous and stupid it was, even though we all kind of know how dangerous it was. I didn't expect Akihiko to be that mad about it either, since we were stepping up and kind of facing a challenge head-on like he seems to like to do. Mitsuru, on the other hand, she never pulls her punches either, so she's been saying what's on her mind. And I'm not so sure she's probably going to let us have it here, but let's see. I just wanted to chat. As I take 2 steps back. Yamagishi has disappeared. It began with a ghost story, but it's developed into a serious situation. We have to do something. Okay. Well, yeah, that also does kind of sound like Mitsuru. Not going to dwell on the past, and we're going to focus on the current problem and the situation that can be resolved. I'm sure that doesn't mean she's forgotten by any stretch, and if it comes to it, she's probably still going to reprimand us for our type of choices, but she's also that practical one that's like, okay, this is what we need to do now with the information we have. It's interesting to get to this point. I really, really expected the way the game has been so far that this would have taken our entire evening. So to have the actual evening open to us, I'm surprised. How did people spend their time? A couple people spent time with social links we haven't met yet. Most people went with daily life activities. And a small percent went to Tartarus. Yeah. Well, I guess we've got the evening back in front of us. I don't see us going to Tartarus tonight because we're already at a decent level. We've got a good contingent of Persona that we've acquired. Inventory's full. So let's, I guess, social stats probably are the next way to go. We're 3s across the board as we are confident, determined, and above average. I can't see any of those leveling up again anytime soon because it was all recent for all of them. And just seeing all those as they are, it's like none of those really cry out to me anymore as in dire need of anything. If my courage is determined, I would be pretty happy with that. If my charm had me presenting myself as a confident person, that would be sweet. If my academics were above average, I would definitely take that as well. So I'd like to keep advancing, of course, but none of them stand out as opposed to like back when we were a slacker academically. At that point, it's like, okay, I need to work on my academics. But now whatever I work on is good forward progress, but we're coming off of a good current level of where we are as well. I guess let's head out and see what tonight has to offer. We went out last night and got a good dinner because I was sure that we weren't going to have any time tonight. Maybe the arcade? Stop in Club Escapade and see what's going on there. Maybe there's some new people to talk to around as well since tonight's activities happened. There's the man in the suit. Maybe we have enough charm to talk to him now. He wanted someone charming to help him. That could be interesting. Nobody down here stands out. Bunch of couples up here. Nice look down at the floor from here. But yeah, nothing again really drawing our attention in here, other than a brief stop in to see what's going on. Was it You're the Insert Game Parade tonight? It was. That would raise our academics at the cost of 3,000 yen. I don't know if we did anything tonight. Maybe getting a nice laid-back meal. Maybe Mokatsu Kitchen. It would be an easier thing than going to the arcade, considering the time we spent behind Port Island Station and everything we overcame already. Maybe just a nice relaxing meal would be less stressful than somewhere busy like an arcade. We'll just look around to and make sure there's no one else to talk to. And I might come back and try to talk to the man in the suit and just see if we're charming enough to help him out yet. Nobody here to talk to that we haven't already talked to. I'll say that so often, and then, oh yeah, there's nobody to talk to. And that's not technically true. There are people we have already talked to, so it's not like they're totally devoid. But when I say that, I just mean there's nothing new to learn. You all probably figured that out, but for anybody that didn't see it the same way I did, I figure I should probably clarify. And same deal here. No one with anything new to say. So let's double back to the Polonia Mall here, just see if we're charming enough yet. If not, then maybe Wakatsu would be a fun way to unwind for the night. In the event that this does work out, let's get our game saved. Man in suit, how you doing? If only I could find someone who could steal our clients' hearts. There must be some handsome young man out there who could drive all the housewives wild. I'm confident now. How about me, right here? Where? I don't see anyone. For heaven's sake, quit wasting my precious time. Ouch. Well, we made some progress, but apparently not enough yet. Okay, it did actually tell me what level of charm I need, so I need to get up to smooth, whatever level that is. So I'm not there yet. As much as that kind of makes me want to work more on my charm, that's kind of a clear signpost. We went to Wakatsu just last night, and it was good, but going there again tonight seems potentially not bad, but kind of redundant. There's also Wild Duck. They've got their Big Eater Challenge on the weekends, right? We do need to complete that properly for one of our quests, and those only run on the weekends. I'm not sure exactly what skill is required to complete it. Maybe they'll tell me if I ask what can be done here. They'll talk about the Big Eater Challenge. Okay. Well, this would increase our courage, which, like I said, we need everything, so there's not a wrong choice. Hard to say. But I don't want to just sit here and wonder, so... It's been so long since we've been to Wakatsu. It does seem like a more peaceful evening. Trying to stuff ourselves with more food than we could possibly eat in a night, even if we did succeed. I'm not sure we could at this point. So I'd rather just go somewhere nice and calm. As I get lost on a choice of 3 choices. But yeah, somewhere nice and calm to just kind of unwind after the stresses of the evening. We went somewhere that we're not used to going in the evening and faced people and challenges we're not used to facing. So going back to somewhere familiar, eating comfort food in a nice calm setting just kind of sounds like an easier way to unwind. Trying to shovel down a dozen plus burgers on top of all that just sounds like potentially more stress. So here is where I think I'm going to spend our evening tonight. Let's head into Wakatsu. It's also kind of nice that the Prodigy platter is only 680 yen. I spent a lot on medicine today, so not spending a huge amount of money is also going to be kind of nice. Again, yeah, just, this plate of food that he likes. That nice view of the city behind him, with people walking around, with cars driving through. It looks like a casual place. Probably some nice soft music going on or something, where he can just let his mind wander. maybe think about some of the things we encountered tonight, mentally reconfigure and recalculate some things, and just kind of breathe that sigh of relief of overcoming that challenge. There's also the thought of the impending full moon day after tomorrow that's got to be weighing on his mind as well, so another reason to take it easy when we can. Get the mind calm and ready coming into Monday so that we're not already stressed out. A couple points of academics there. Obviously not enough to level us up since we leveled up a week or so back. But again, as I always say when we do these, it's positive steps forward. Every time we do it, we're a little closer to getting better. But to end up the day at confident, determined, and above average, very nice. So it looks like there we go. That is the end of Saturday the 6th. Let's head back to the desk and talk about it. There we are. Okay, so that was the end of Saturday, June 6th. It was a busy day, but it was another good day. We really did do a lot more than I thought we would do today. It's hard to even think that the day started out at school, especially considering they didn't show us any of the school day itself. We got there, and just like that, the day was over, despite going through an entire day of classes, and lunch, and more classes, and everything that a high schooler would deal with on a school day. We even had the afternoon open to us. It was kind of one of those, with Saturday night's big plans of headed to the outskirts and continuing on our investigation. I thought that was really going to just kind of take over the entirety of our day. So to have that chance in the afternoon to get over to the pharmacy and pick up some medicine to get ready for Monday, that was nice. To get to the Velvet Room and to make a new persona, again, to get ready for Monday and to be more available with our social links, that was encouraging. I feel like we have a good group of persona, both for our social links and for our combat. So I'm encouraged there. We saw Officer Kurosawa and made sure that our gear was up to date. So we had that time to prepare that it was really nice to have. So we're not coming totally blind into Monday, other than not knowing the specifics of what's going on Monday. We've done all the stuff we can do to get ready. And that still gave us time in the afternoon to spend time with Yuko. There were a lot of people vying for our attention, but I picked Yuko today. She wanted to just go do something fun because we got interrupted the previous time. And while we were at the mall, we literally ran into a couple kids, or they ran into us, because they were playing tag at the mall, since they weren't able to play tag at their school because the 6th graders there were playing soccer. And they'd only let them use the grounds if they could beat them in a foot race. And the 4th graders that encountered us said that there was no way they could win a race. So Yuko, being her nice, understanding self, said, "Come on, follow me." And she took all of us back to Gekkoukan High and to the track there. And the kids were just wide-eyed and in awe of the place. It's like, wow, a real huge, big high school track. This place is amazing. And Yuko said, okay, I got us permission for all of us to be here, so why don't you run here instead of at the mall? There's a big wide track. Try running here. And so they did, and she was able to give them advice on moving your arms differently or breathing this way, just to improve their form. And the boy did some running. He's like, wow, that really worked. You know what you're talking about. And the girls there were also excited, and so they spent their time running. And they said, if you were here, Yuko, big sis Yuko, she wasn't even Auntie Yuko anymore. If you were coaching us, maybe we'd actually be able to beat those 6th graders. What do you say? Will you coach us? And she wasn't sure about that. She seemed like she wanted to, but she was also kind of on the fence. Asked me, it's like, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should do it? And I could tell that she seemed to be excited by the prospect, so I threw my hat in there and said, yeah, I think you do a great job at that. And I do. She knows her stuff about the form of running, and proper training, and all that good stuff, so I think she'd be a great coach. So I said that, and she agreed to be their coach. The kids were excited, and they ran a bit. And after their time expired at the track and they went home, Yuko turned to me and said, hey, I do like doing this. This is fun, but would you mind being a coach with me? That seemed only fair. I enjoy spending time with her, and I figured that I could learn a lot more about track itself if I'm seeing it from this other side of things. And as a member of the track team as well, I might be able to help motivate the kids and help them train for their big event against the 6th graders. And it just gives me another fun thing to do with Yuko. It kind of helped put me in her shoes and see things from the other side of things, and it's not just a track participant, but as someone who sees the bigger picture and what goes into the actual training sides of it. So I agreed that I would help her with that, and she was thankful for that. And it was just really cool to deepen the social link in that way and have a new thing to do together to help train these kids and to understand more about track itself and about Yuko and I as people. So I committed to that going forward, and she was happy for the support, and the social link grew to rank 4? I think it was rank 4. So that was nice. And that took us back to the dorm then. because tonight was our big night to head to Port Island Station to continue those investigations. Junpei was still very much opposed to the idea, knowing the kind of people that hang out there. We gathered a little bit more information from people on our way over, and sure enough, the delinquents were meeting there that night. So we made our way over there, and we're instantly standing out like a sore thumb. Everybody saw us coming, and what's with this group? They don't belong here. We never see that group around here. Yukari really put on her brave face and said, we're here to investigate. Doesn't really matter what people think of us. They're all just punks. They don't matter. And that was obviously confrontational, and they obviously heard and didn't take too kindly to it. Unfortunately for Junpei, he was the one that got slugged in the process, so he was down on his knees. Things weren't looking too good, but Yukari, she was worried for Junpei, but she still was holding to her guns about we deserve to be here just as much as anybody else. And that's when the young man that we encountered a month ago in Akihiko's room at the hospital showed up and said, knock it off, basically. He stopped the other punks and told them to leave us alone. And the punks turned to him and said, what's it to you? What do you care? You're that guy from Gekko-kan as well. Are you with these kids or something? And he said no, and just reiterated very calmly to leave him alone. And, this the one guy's like, you want a piece of me? And the guy who introduced himself as Aragaki didn't even pick his hands out of his pockets. He just headbutted the guy and brought him to his knees. And just kind of looked at him and said, are you sure you want to do this? The punk realized that, no, maybe this isn't a fight I want to take. And his buddies kind of laughed at him, but they, at that point, did give us some space. Aragaki then turned to us and said, what are you doing here? Go home. You don't belong here. Which, didn't seem wrong at that point. But Yukari, still holding to what she said, no, we have to be here. We're investigating something. And he said, oh, okay, let me guess. You hear about the ghost story rumors. And she was kind of surprised at that. And even I was to some extent. But she's like, yeah, how did you know about that? He just kind of said, they're rumors. They're all over the place. Of course I'm going to hear things. Makes sense. But he also mentioned that all the girls that had disappeared, they had been regulars at this place, and they had been loudly bragging about bullying Yamagishi from the next class over. And so it was the rumor that it was her ghost that had made them disappear. And we came to find out that she's been missing for a week. She's not been in the hospital recovering, like had been said, but she is straight up missing. So that really changed the scope of our investigation. It's actual concrete information that's not tied to anything supernatural. It's a missing person that's led to more missing people. Still, it's not especially actionable, but it's given us a proper direction to look rather than just chasing rumors at this point. And knowing all that, Aragaki said basically, did Akihiko ask you to come and investigate this? And I said no. He doesn't even know we're here, basically. And Aragaki was kind of like, oh, okay, well, either way, get out of here and get home. It's dangerous back here, as you've obviously seen. At that point, we did have all the information we needed, so we were thankful to him. Junpei especially took his hat off and bowed properly and said, thank you, senpai. I was able to really lean into that as well and say that he really did save us because things weren't looking too good. And Yukari thanked him as well and said, you're actually a pretty nice guy, aren't you? And he was just kind of like, no, whatever. Either way, just get out of here and be safe. So thankfully at that point we did listen to that and we made our way back to the dorm. We all breathed a big sigh of relief once we got in and we were back. Junpei was still concerned about the choices we made and said, I never want to do that again. Maybe sometime, hopefully somebody will listen to me when I have these objections. And Yukari was a little bit apologetic for putting us in harm's way, but she was happy to have gained positive, real results from her investigation, which did have to be really rewarding since she'd been agonizing over it all week, dealing with topics she's afraid of. Akihiko was not happy about our choices and basically told us not to do something that reckless again in the future. I don't think he was especially mad because I could see him approaching the situation in a similar way, but as someone who's older than us and who feels responsible for us, it's just that seeing people like that putting themselves in harm's way is never something he wants to see. And Mitsuru, she didn't really lean into anything about our choices or decisions. She was just happy to have information about Yamagishi's disappearance, since we do have something we need to look into now. So we had all that information, and surprisingly we had some time left in the evening to do other things. And I decided the best course of action at this point was just to take it easy. We've got a full moon coming up on Monday. We already went through a lot of stress in the evening, so I just wanted something as low-key as possible. Ended up at Wakatsu Kitchen. I like their Prodigy platter. We've had that quite a few times already, and that just seemed like that good comfort food to go back to. It was a quiet atmosphere, nice views, all that easy good stuff, so I could just go there and decompress from the evening. So I got the Prodigy platter, enjoyed that, and got a few points of academics in the process. So coming off of a very busy day in that sense, we were able to wind down for the end of the day, get to bed at a reasonable hour, And barring the unforeseen, hopefully we've got a day off tomorrow to get as prepared for Monday as we can. So we made it back to the dorm, got a good night of sleep, and that should take us into Sunday tomorrow. And on all that, we have reached the end of Saturday, June 6th. It was a busy day, but it was a very productive day. It was kind of the culmination of everything the week had been building to, and I'm really happy with how things came together. And I just want to thank you all so much for being here today. It's been a lot of fun playing this with all of you today. I've been Tom Shima. I stream this Persona A Day series live every day at 12:30 Eastern Time. So anytime you want to be here live, I would love to have you. I have a schedule up on Twitch as well, so if you want to see that schedule in your local time, that's where you can do so. I also upload each day's playthrough to YouTube, so if you missed the current day or want to catch up on any other previous day, you can do so there. And I just hope you all have a wonderful Saturday the 6th. Whatever you have time to do, I hope it's fun and rewarding. If it's something you have to do, I hope it goes easy. And if it's something you want to do, I hope it's just as much fun as you wanted it to be. But I've been Tom Shima. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I can see you again sometime, and I look forward to it. Thanks so much, and goodbye.